On the Bobcats Sports Network from Learfield, this is Cat Chat with head football coach Brent Vigen. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, the official home of Cat Chat, every Wednesday night at 6:30. Now, here's your host, the voice of the Bobcats, Keaton Gillogly.
Hello, 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 and welcome live to Buffalo Wild Wings. This is Cat Chat, the official radio show of head coach Brent Vigen and Bobcat Athletics, which you can enjoy over wings and beer every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. only at Buffalo Wild Wings. All right, first and foremost, everybody here, can you hear us okay? Sounding good? Sounds good in the house? All right, love to see that, and we're going to be good, having a good time talking some Bobcat football. Our player guests today, we're going to have safety Bryant Meredith and kicker Miles Sandstead joining the show today. So those will be our player guests. Yeah, they deserve a round of applause. We talked to offensive line coach Matt Smith for the podcast this week, so you can find that wherever you listen to your podcasts on the Bobcat Insider podcast. And Caden Dowler was our guest on the Bobcat Insider television show, which is out now with myself, Grace Lawrence, and more. But first, we say hello to head coach Brent Vigen. Coach, how we doing? How we feeling?
It's Wednesday, right?
Yeah, yes,
Wednesday
it is.
night. We're getting there. A good couple days of practice the last 2 mornings. Feel like the guys are really excited for this first opportunity within conference play and ready to take a step forward. I know we got a win the other day and didn't maybe feel exactly how we wanted to, but that was a team that came out fighting and had a good plan and all that, and that's what happens sometimes, to come out on the right side to get a shutout. I think we're really that was really a positive thing, and I think it's the hunger that I'm seeing out of our guys this week. It tells me that we're excited about this opportunity and get everything we have.
Yeah, absolutely. It was certainly a kind of a weird game on Saturday, which we'll really dive into. We got conference play starting this weekend. Eastern Washington is here for a 2 p.m. kickoff over at Bobcat Stadium. And as we kind of get ready to go here, I mean, kind of asked you a little bit last week, but do you have any impressions on kind of where the Big Sky is and what the landscape looks like as we kind of dive into this thing right now?
Yeah, I think it's wide open. That's kind of how I felt going in. Not too many returning players, period, and then hardly anybody had returning quarterbacks. I think the non-conference maybe tells a little bit of the story. You can sit and compare scores and all that, but I don't know that tells the whole story either. So now that we're in conference play and we'll get the matchups week by week, I think it'll start to unfold a little bit. And ultimately, it's one thing however a team's playing right now. It's who's playing the best. Come November, that's going to find themselves with those opportunities to play on, and that's what we're aiming to do.
Right, and the thing you've been saying for years is you just got to stack those days on days and good weeks on good weeks, and you look up, and after that, hopefully you're reaching your potential. And certainly the defense looks like it's striving towards its potential. A shutout this weekend, which is never anything to sniff at or stick your nose up at. And we saw the takeaway hat, so the new cowboy hat, a couple of takeaways. So nice to see a little something there on the sideline for the guys.
Yeah, I don't know that they need any more motivation to take it away, I guess, but recognition for who made that play, I think, is the piece there. I know defensive players kind of get lumped into just being a defense, so to highlight the guys that created the turnover, I think, is the idea behind it. And I think it suits us well as far as where we're at in the country, and I think the guys are pretty excited about it.
Well, I like it. It's a good-looking hat. It's got that block M on the front of it, and Paul Brott was the first one to don it this week. He had the forced fumble, had that it was part of a strip sack. It was really 2 back-to-back plays there where he kind of blew it up. This felt like one of Paul's kind of biggest, at least loudest games so far this year.
Yeah, statistically it certainly was, and sometimes his contribution goes unnoticed in the stat column. I think what he does as far as eating up blocks, sometimes there is not a stat for that. But he's eating up blocks every play. In this game he had a chance to play through a double team to get the 1 TFL. It was actually a rush that he worked really hard to get that strip sack. So we need him to make an impact each and every game, and I think to this point he's played really well. And unfortunately for a nose guard, sometimes that means there's been a couple games so far where he's at the bottom of the stat sheet.
Right.
So we need him to be a force, and I think he knows that. So to get him freed up and to make some of those plays was great to see.
Yeah, it was even cooler, too. He kind of shouted out in the postgame that, Brody Grebe, Blake Schmidt were in the stands and wanted to do a little something in front of those guys, which is always fun to see. And one of the guys who was a recipient of that fumble forced by Paul was Takari Carr, with the fumble recovery, and then also had the double tip to get that interception to Ryan Cray in the end zone, very intentionally getting that ball up. Really cool to see Takari Carr come up with a couple of big plays this weekend.
Yeah, he's moved himself into a position now, albeit his fourth year, where his consistency level is getting him on the field more and more. And he's always been a guy that could flash and make some plays, but it's more about all the other plays. And he's doing a good job. And, I think that play at the end of the game, he was doing his job in that play. He recognized, what they were trying to do, got himself in the back of the end zone, got a hand on that ball, and for us to get that interception and just kind of end their scoring threat there was huge. And, I think Takari's playing. He's playing with a real sense of confidence. I think he's always carried himself with a sense of confidence. But this is real. He's getting out there and played. He's played in 4 games now. He's done some good things. I think he's understanding, what it means to be a cornerback play in, play out.
Yeah, how is it right now rotating that group of 4 right now in the cornerback room? And we're seeing a lot of big tackles from them, and it does seem pretty even. Just how is that rotation working for you right now?
Yeah, it's been pretty even the last couple games. I think they're all playing, solid football. And I think there's the 3 young guys in that crew that, each time they're out there, that adds significantly to their experience. And then you have a Takari who, again, has been here for a while but hasn't played. So, I think they're growing up on the fly. I think they're playing, with a relative discipline, I guess, but that needs to continue to improve. I think by and large the ball is not getting behind them, so we want to keep challenging them. That's a position that you can be passive or this kind of combination of being really aggressive at times, and we need to be more aggressive, honestly, at the corner position. Again, keeping the ball in front of you is just one thing, but how many times are you really challenging those throws? And I think that's something we got to continue to do with that group, because I know they're talented enough to take that on.
Well, and limiting those big plays is going to be a big deal this weekend against Eastern Washington. They scored a ton of big score touchdowns last week, which we'll dive into in a little bit. But there was something else that's kind of stood out to me over the last week or two, hearing your players talk to the media. And really, it's the accountability they take. They've really spent a lot of time talking about, hey, we've done this, we can do more, we need to be better here, and that includes me. I've heard multiple guys say that includes me, including the senior leaders. That's impressive. It does seem like guys are out there really taking accountability for what they're doing right and what they need to do better.
Yeah, good or bad, there's got to be ownership of what's going on game day. And sometimes that's complicated, but in our world, we want guys that want to strive for their very best, are willing to be coached. We have to have coaches that are, pointing things out and coaching them up on a consistent basis. And that doesn't mean all those Monday morning sessions are the best things ever, but they're great learning opportunities. We have to be able to take off of film and be able to translate that into improvement moving forward. And even in the game now with the iPads and everything, that can happen. And there was things in that game where you saw guys maybe not quite do something right early on and really correct as we went along. So I do think we have a group that wants to achieve at a high level, and we're learning what that means through this first part of the season. So I still think our capacity to continue to improve is significant. And now it's conference season, we're 4 games in. I think we'll continue to see an improved football team.
Yeah, and this was kind of just a weird game. It was 6 possessions total for you guys, including the final possession that ended up as a kneel. They obviously had a lot of time of possession in this game. They punted on 4th and goal from the 42-yard line, which was a little bit weird. As you've kind of had a chance now to review the tape, I mean, was it kind of weird and just an anomaly in this game, the way they played it?
Well, it was a combination of us being pretty methodical in the first half.
Yeah.
When we had the edge, part of the reason we only had 3 possessions the first half was our own doing offensively. And then a few opportunities we had when they were in their territory, we need to get them off the field, because once they crossed midfield, they were going to go for it. Anytime an offense has 4 downs and they're thinking that way, especially when you say from the 50 maybe to the plus 20. And that's where they were able to continue to convert. Now, they got inside the 20. It was, football becomes a little harder inside the 20, inside the 15, and that's where they struggled, and we were able to make some plays. But, it was really about what were they doing in their territory and us not getting off the field. And the second half, I think we're out. We get the 3 and out. We're having a good drive, and then we throw the interception, and then they seemed like they had the ball forever, and ultimately didn't score. And then we had our one, poor possession, the 1 3 and out of the day, and then you're like, okay, we're going to win this game. I know this hasn't looked pretty. It hasn't felt like you wanted it to, but at the end of the day, hopefully there's a lot that can be learned from it, because I think we would all walked away and felt pretty good if we'd scored 5 for 5 on our first 5 possessions. That just didn't happen. And at any point in time, if the defense would have just got them off the field a little sooner, on any one of those, let's say like 4 consecutive series for them within the middle of that game, I think it might have felt a little different. So it didn't, and that's where it was, and I think we acknowledge that. We're not going to apologize for winning for sure. And I think impressive to get the shutout, not impressive to get off the field like we needed to. So what do we need to do to correct that? I think that's the biggest thing. So shine the light on the things that went well, but also shine it on the things we need to improve upon and move forward.
Yep, it's always a little more nuanced than it looks just when you're looking at it from 30,000 feet. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got plenty more to get to, and later we'll talk with Bryant Meredith and Miles Sansted. But first, a timeout. We're live from Buffalo Wild Wings. This is Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
Debilitating joint pain can keep you from doing the things you love most. At Bozeman Health Spine and Joint Institute, we take a holistic approach to your orthopedic surgery, combining state-of-the-art orthopedic capabilities with whole health optimization. We'll work with you to identify and address any medical issues prior to your surgery. Our optimized health approach ensures your surgery is just the beginning of a new, pain-free life. Explore more at bozemanhealth.org/SJI.
The air was thick with desire as he said those 23 magic words every woman longs to hear. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give you 10 free boneless wings when you spend $15 or more and use promo code GOBONELESS. Say it again, she begged. He indulged. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give... Okay, I need a break. This novel's got me sweating and hungry. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations for a limited time only when you order in the BWW web or app.
Hey, Bobcat fans. Want to make a real difference in the lives of Montana State student-athletes? The Bobcat Collective is your chance to do just that. By joining as a member or becoming a business partner, you're directly supporting our athletes through NIL opportunities, helping them succeed both on and off the field. Whether you're an individual looking to become a member or a business ready to partner with us, every contribution empowers our Bobcats to reach their full potential. Visit BobcatCollective.com to learn more and sign up today. Together, we can elevate our athletes and the entire Bobcat community. Go Cats, go!
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Bobcats on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Bobcat Pride, powered locally.
We focus on youth sports because we truly believe that youth are the foundation of Montana's future. I think nothing improves your mental health and well-being and your physical health and well-being than being outside, active, talking to other people, and socializing in an environment like that. Learning teamwork, learning leadership skills, resiliency. As a company, we're deeply invested in our communities, not just our members.
Montana holds some of the greatest hunting in the country, and much of that occurs on private land. Access to private land is a key part of hunting and wildlife management, but that access is at risk with every gate left open, piece of litter left behind, or torn up ag field from someone driving where they weren't allowed. As hunters and guests in Montana, we must do better. Get familiar with Montana's block management program and follow the rules for every block management area you hunt, because we either do better or we'll lose access. It's that simple. It's up to us. Respect access, protect the hunt.
We are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat. Keaton Gillogly sitting alongside head coach Brent Vigen as we get set for the Big Sky opener coming up this weekend against Eastern Washington with a 2 p.m. kickoff. All right, Coach, one of the biggest pieces of news this week was the return of Burke Mastel for the offensive line. We saw I like that, the Red Lodge native. Good to see him. We saw a lot of shifting there, which we'll talk about, but first and foremost for Burke, getting back, playing left guard. How'd you see him play in his return this weekend?
Yeah, I thought he played pretty well. And the good thing about where he was at with his injury, he was able to practice certainly in some form with the club over the last 3 weeks. So it wasn't like he was just back on Wednesday and had to go at it. He got his club off on whatever. He didn't have to practice with the club, I guess, on Wednesday. But he, had a good fall camp right up until the injury. We certainly were, thinking he'd play center. I think with the emergence of JT taking that over, it made more sense to put Burke at guard. And I feel good about where he started as far as that first game out, and expect more of him certainly. But I think that's was a good place to start.
And then keeping JT Reed at center, talking to him a little bit kind of before he came back, it sounded like he was kind of excited about the potential of staying at center. So this was kind of about how he was playing?
Yes, absolutely. And Burke missed spring ball, so it wasn't like we had Burke playing center all through spring ball, all through fall camp. It was just really through fall camp. So there wasn't, tons of back history there, even though that was our intention to play him there. And Burke and JT's had some history at center, whether it was in the spring or previous years, and he's been playing well. And he's been snapping the ball well, and he's been directing traffic the way you want. So it's better to I think keep him there and plug Burke back in where they both played last year. They switched off at left guard.
And for that center position, too, it does feel like that's the one where as soon as you feel like you've got something that's working, you just don't want to touch it at all.
Fair, yes. Yeah, last year was similar, and we lost Justice, and then, Cole took it over and ran with it, and, Justice really never got back to form necessarily, I think, one thing, but I think with the way Cole played, changing that up late in the season didn't really add up a lot last year either.
All right, so we've got those two guys in their spots, JT Reed at the center spot, Burke Mastel at the left guard spot. And then we saw a lot of the shifting around with Titan and Cedric and Braden Zimmer as well. First of all, for Titan Fleischman, kind of bouncing around between that right guard, right tackle, how do you feel like he's handling that? And I know it does sound like you guys want to pick a spot and stick him to it here eventually.
Well, I would prefer that, but I think you got to have something's got to give. Someone's got to have some flexibility within your unit to be able to truly plug in the best five, or how you see it. So he's become that guy. I know Cedric swung and played both sides. That tackle being that's a little bit different story. So, someone's got to be that. And Titan certainly, I think, had a tremendous season last year as a tackle. Is capable of playing guard. I think he's figuring out the nuances and the differences of that guard position, through this first stretch of the season. So, I think he still gives us that flexibility, because ultimately we want to put the best five out there. And, being able to do that is not as simple as just plugging and playing. It just doesn't work that way. But then able to, lock Everett more into a right guard position. That was a position he played in fall and spring. Leaving Braden at one position is ideally what we do. And then Cedric has the potential to swing because he's played both sides. So, we would like less moving parts on any particular Saturday, I guess. That's, moving forward is probably how we see it. But to have the potential to move those parts around is always something that we need to have.
Yeah. Help us understand a little bit more, too, that difference between guard and tackle. What are the things globally that you're looking for out of a guy when you're determining if they can play one of those two positions?
Yeah, I think there's athleticism and, strength components that go into the two positions. I think the longer, taller athletes, just that length piece in particular suits them better at tackle. It's not that taller guys can't go in and play guard, but that's usually something that eliminates some guys from being able to play tackle. Being able to play on the inside, it's just you're matched up with bigger bodies, so your ability to be the main guy in a double team, not the post guy in a double team. Your ability at times to try to move a 300-pounder against his will is something we ask different out of our guards than we do certainly out of our tackles. So I think it's a little bit of just body type, what any one of our guys' truest strengths are, whether it is strength or whether it's athleticism, whether it's length, kind of all of the above.
Yeah. one thing that has been so much fun to watch over these last couple of years is that development of the offensive line. And, it's probably fairly easy for maybe some fans to almost take for granted just the ability for you guys to throw these guys in there. So, for you going back even when you're recruiting and you're scouting these guys who are going to be the potential, the next future Bobcats, what are some of the key things you're looking for when you're looking for that next generation of the offensive lineman and seeing what you need to find in a guy in high school?
I think going to high school, because you're recruiting guys from all different levels. Class B here in Montana to, Cedric played at a pretty high level in California. And everything in between. It's not so much about who they're going against. It's, how are they operating? Are they staying on their feet consistently? Certainly want guys that can move. I think for us, you're looking for some guys that, 2-3 years down the road from when they were high school seniors can put the strength on, can put the weight on. We're not getting a lot of ready-made guys. The ready-made guys are hard enough to find anyways, and they're all ending up at the highest level. And, they're now trying to get ready-made guys from our level. So that's complicated unto itself. So I think there's a lot of attributes. You got to have a guy that understands, hey, I'm playing offensive line. I love that aspect of what I'm trying to do, and I'm willing to put on, like in Braden Zimmer's case, 60-plus pounds.
Right.
You got to be committed to do that. So I think there's a lot of intangibles about their commitment, about their work ethic, about their love of the game that have to factor into, okay, there's this, in his case, there's this 6'6", 225, 30-pound guy that really moves well, but can all the rest of it work out? And, we've been pretty fortunate to, find those guys, be able to put the weight on, coach them up, teach them up, and get them out in the field sooner than later.
Yeah. It's interesting, too, as you kind of talk about it, because you have to really find these guys. Those higher levels, it's probably a little bit easier because you can see that finished product. Are there any guys that you have on this roster now or maybe have come through that, like, you felt like you were the only one who saw what they were going to be? Like, they were so overlooked, and they're like, I know this guy can be what they can be. Are there any guys like that on this roster?
Well, we weren't the only ones ultimately that went on Connor Moore, but we were really at the front of that.
Yeah.
And some people kind of came on after he had committed to us. But I think there's a case, and this kid was in Ohio. He was in the Toledo area. So there's a lot of eyes over that way as far as all levels of football. But in particular, I'm not even saying the Big Ten, but the MAC conference. And I think that was a case of seeing a guy that had the growth potential, played basketball, played baseball, did all this stuff, and could move around at the same time and had this big frame. And now he's playing in the Big Ten, and I don't think that's going to be it for him. I mean, he's ultimately going to be a guy I think has a chance to play on Sundays, and so he's a good case. But I think we have some other guys that would fall in line with that a little bit. But those diamonds in the rough are getting harder and harder to keep in the rough. Keep hitting. That.
Right. So when you're looking at a guy, it sounds like you're looking first for a guy who can move, stay on their feet, and then they've got the frame that can add weight, and then you got to find out if they're willing to put the weight on. That's right.
Yeah, it's all that. Absolutely. Yeah, and you want toughness, and you want guys that really want to compete. And, sometimes for big guys that have always been big, that's a challenge too to sort that out. So. There's a lot that goes into it. I think once you get a little bit of a track record, which I think we have, I think that's kind of, it allows you to speak to it. Okay, here's what development looks like. You could be the next Connor Moore or whatever. Even Marcus Weir's story, transitioning from D-line to O-line and different body type, but, becoming an two-time All-American, all that stuff. That happened here, and to be able to paint that picture for the next guy that maybe has a similar story. When you've had that story, it's easier to sell them on that.
Right. Is offensive line one where you're usually finding O-linemen, they're going to be O-linemen? Because I know we've talked here, especially when we're talking about Cole Taylor, different positions. But is O-line one where it's just generally we're picking O-linemen and we're going to turn them into O-linemen?
I think for the most part, some schools might have a bigger, taller tight end, guy playing at that position that can translate to playing offensive tackle. Sometimes a guy might play both sides, might play a little bit more defense than offense, but we see him a little bit more as an offensive lineman. You might get a little of those, but by and large, our guys playing O-line for us, that's where they played at the end. Like Braden, I think, played tight end all the way, I think, through his junior year. and then he moved and played offensive line and defensive line his senior year.
Yeah, interesting. That's an interesting note. All right, final question about offensive linemen, because Leo Davis has been a little bit on this hobby horse on our broadcasts, our radio partner and Big Sky champ in his own right. Are offensive linemen the smartest position group on the team? That's the case he's been making. You got your back to the football. You're the only one who's got to block for somebody else. You've got to know the entire defense. It's got to be that controlled anger. So are O-linemen the smartest group?
Well, I think collectively you need them to be right up there. I would say that. Do they all need to be on the same wavelength necessarily? They need to be able to communicate, and someone's got to get some guys right. But I think just based on, you look at our situation, we have a sixth-year senior, we have a fifth-year junior, and then we have these, we have two sophomores and we have a freshman. I think, to say they're all at the capacity of how intelligent they will be as offensive linemen is not the case. But collectively as a group, they have to really know what they're doing and, work together. And so I think they got to be smart enough to work together. How's that? And they got to be smart enough to communicate. And, now we add Burke to the mix, who's a fourth-year guy. So typically you're going to have that group of guys that are just at different stages of their own intelligence within what you're trying to do, and hopefully those older guys can really help the younger guys along, and they can work as a group, because if they don't, that's when football becomes pretty complicated.
Right. Well, that's the PC answer, because Leo Davis has just been straight up saying the offensive linemen are the smartest group in the room, and that's that, which, well, he was there for a long time, which I like. All right. Well, that was good stuff. It's been a lot of fun watching this O-line develop, and we got a lot more to go over these coming weeks, and I know everybody else enjoys that story as well. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're talking with Bryant Meredith. We are live from Buffalo Wild Wings. This is Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. outside the box for your complete branding solutions. Located in Bozeman, Montana, we offer a full print shop for banners, signs, wraps, trade show booths and graphics, promotional products, and much more. If you can think it, we can ink it. We are a proud supporter and corporate sponsor of the MSU Bobcats. Like us on Facebook to see some of our cat wraps. Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. and call us at 406-922-6462 or visit us on the web at inkoutside.com.
Quitting smoking, vaping, or chew isn't easy because nicotine is extremely addictive. Plus, everyone's different. What worked for me may not work for you. That's where Quit Now Montana comes in. And it's free. You get a quit coach and a custom quit plan tailored to you, including free nicotine replacement therapy, patches, gum, or lozenges. Bottom line, Quit Now Montana works. Time to make it work for you. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW or go to quitnowmontana.com to get started today. Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services.
Town & Country Foods is a proud supporter of Bobcat Athletics. As a locally owned company, we believe the benefit of buying local helps support the local economies in southwest Montana. Our stores offer great selections of items you need every day, including organics, specialty foods, fresh meats and produce, along with incredible selections from our bakery and deli departments. Town & Country Foods is 100% employee-owned and serves southwest Montana with 9 locations. Visit your local Town & Country Foods today. Go Cats!
For more than 25 years, Amy Sayer has provided the highest level of service in the real estate industry in the Gallatin Valley. In conjunction with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Montana Properties, Amy and her team are committed to providing the very best experience for their clients and customers through sound guidance and excellence in service. So if you're thinking of buying or selling or have questions about our current real estate market, call Amy Sayer or visit amysayer.com. The Bobcats are proud to present these preferred local partners as members of Bobcat Built, Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems, Bryant, whatever it takes, Carrier Heating and Air Conditioning, Carrier, turn to the experts, Ace Roofing, building Montana strong, one roof at a time, Rivers Landscaping, crafting superior outdoor spaces, and NW Construction, proud to call Bozeman home. Montana State Athletics encourages our fans to choose these local businesses. They are proud local sponsors and demonstrate what it means to be a Bobcat. We are Bobcat Built.
Revelry is your neighborhood eatery, here to serve a wholesome and savory palate that celebrates Montana roots with fresh, locally sourced ingredients. We revel in a natural and energetic habitat that livens any day. We serve Bozeman's best pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and salads in a comfortable environment with 2 amazing patios. We love hosting Bobcats old and new. Check us out at 24 North Tracy or online at revelrymt.com. Go Cats, go!
We are back at Buffalo Wild Wings, and before we talk to Bryant Meredith, we remind you that Cat Chat is brought to you in part by the Bobcat Collective. Also, the Cat Chat is brought to you in part by the MSU Bookstore, which you can shop at Bobcat Stadium on game days, 24/7 online at msubookstore.org. All right, before we start our conversation with Bryant Meredith, let's pause 10 seconds for a network station identification. This is Cat Chat. We are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat. I'm Keaton Gillogly, and we get to say hello now to one of the newest members of the Bobcats, Bryant Meredith. Bryant, how are we doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking some time and hanging out with us a little bit today. First and foremost, just how you feeling, man? A lot of transferring around, and now you're kind of settled here, getting a lot of playing time at a different position than you were really training at. But just in general, how you feeling?
I'm loving Montana. It's way better than I expected.
Yeah. What did you expect out of Montana? What did you know?
I knew nothing about Montana. I didn't even know where Montana was coming from California, but I know a lot about Montana now.
Yeah. What were some of the first impressions? Did anybody tell you once you maybe committed or started looking at it? Like, what were some of the first impressions you had?
I got off the airport, and it was like a blizzard. So I'll say cold, definitely. I love the campus. I love the coaching staff. They made me feel at home right away. So, yeah, that was like my first impression for sure.
Yeah. So how much snow had you interacted with before you got out here?
A little bit my freshman year. I went to Northern Arizona, so if you don't know, that's 7,000 feet elevation.
Yep.
But I spent the last 2 years in California, so not a lot recently.
Yeah. All right. So have you started to do like any of your winter shopping yet? Like you got a coat yet for later or anything?
Yeah, my mom got me right with a couple things, yeah.
That's good. That's good. And you can go ask some of the guys. You know, I feel like Takari Carr is the guy that really would, you know, he's an LA guy, so he can let you know exactly how to handle it. All right, good. Well, tell me a little bit about how you did end up here. You mentioned the coaching staff. Who were the guys who were primarily recruiting you up here to Montana State?
Coach Daly, Coach Owens. I talked a little bit of Coach Shep and Howe. Those were the main guys. But, yeah, Coach Daly was the main guy that was trying to get me here at first.
Yep, and he's DC now at UTEP as well. But what were some of the things you were looking for? I mean, coming out of JUCO, what were some of the key priorities for you when you were trying to find a new home?
Definitely Bobcats being in the national championship last year played a big part of it. A winning team, a winning culture, good coaching staff. That was like the main thing for me.
Yeah. Was that different than some of your priorities coming out of high school?
Definitely, I would say so. I wanted more like a good location or like a chance to play, but I just know now I want to be at a winning school.
Yeah. So take us back then. So you're from Northern California. You played at a pretty big high school too, right?
Yeah, De La Salle High School. If you haven't heard of it, we won 151 games in a row, and there's a movie about it.
Yeah. All right, 151 games in a row. And what part of the 151 were you of?
None of those. That was before my time, but, yeah, we still are a powerhouse.
Yeah. All right, so then so California high school football is the best in the country?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay, because we've had a couple of the Texas boys on, and they say no.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, JT Reed, he's from kind of sort of-ish your area in the Northern California. He agreed with you. So.
Okay, great.
But what was it like for you going from high school and ended up at Northern Arizona? What was some of the stuff you were kind of looking for, and how did you end up in Flagstaff?
Yeah, so I ended up in Flagstaff. Pretty much my junior year was COVID, so I didn't get recruited hard, and NAU was one of the schools that targeted me. So that was really my only option. And then my coaching staff got fired, so I just thought it was time for a change. So I ended up in Fullerton.
Yep.
And then, yeah, out of Fullerton, Montana State recruited me, and it was a perfect fit.
Yeah. So 2 years at Fullerton or one?
2 years, sir.
All right. How was the JUCO experience? We've seen many other guys come through here. The JUCO Bandits, it's a different vibe. How was the JUCO experience for you?
One word I would have to say is definitely unique.
Yeah.
It's a grind, definitely, because you don't know, like, you're one play away from never playing again or no one knowing who you are, but, you know, you just have to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. How did you do that? How did you make sure you had the confidence and the faith in yourself to be able to get it done?
Just talking to my family, you know, just believing in my talents and believing, like, this is my path. So, yeah.
Yeah. How is Fullerton College for getting guys developed and ready for this? What are the resources like and just the overall vibe there?
Yeah, they have a long history of getting DBs out, so that was the main thing for me. Also, just developing my game and being more physical. Yeah.
Yeah. What were some of the things you were developing there? What was your main focus? Where'd you get better when you were at Fullerton College?
I'd say probably my intelligence on the field was the biggest thing. Just going from playing scout team at Northern Arizona to actually playing college football, that was the biggest thing. Just learning the playbook, just, yeah, reading my keys, that was the main thing.
Yeah, it's amazing once you kind of get out there how different it really is. And sometimes reps are the only thing that can get it going.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, game experience is like no other.
Right. So what position were you playing over there?
So I played corner my whole life, and I got recruited here to play safety.
Okay. Now, but when you did get here, were you playing some nickel too?
Yeah, I was playing nickel and safety, yeah.
Okay, so how was that balance? How much were they putting you at nickel versus putting you up at safety and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so in spring I mostly just did free safety, and then towards fall camp I got more nickel reps at the end. So it was like more 50-50 at fall camp, but spring it was completely safety.
Yeah. What is that nickel spot like? I mean, we're watching Taden Gray play some really good football right now. He's been a fun guy to kind of follow these last 2 years. But what is that nickel spot like in the Bobcat defense?
It's like a hybrid of linebacker and safety. So you have to know your gaps and responsibilities, but also you have to be able to cover. So it's a hard position, definitely.
Yeah. How's Taden handle it? It seems like he hasn't had like those really big, loud plays yet this year. He obviously had some huge ones down the stretch last year, but he seems like he's been really steady and very, very consistent. What are you seeing out of Taden?
Yeah, Taden, he's just doing his job. So when you do your job, you don't really get too many targets. So he's just doing his 1 of 11. And he's getting the job done right now for us.
Yeah, it's amazing how many things can fall together when you just do your job.
Exactly.
It's a good thing to have in football and in life. All right, so now you're kind of getting back at the safety position. How you feel like you're settling in? If you've played corner your whole life, you feeling confident in safety?
Yeah, safety is just a little different. You're coming from space. You got to make more tackles, but you're playing DB at the end of the day, so yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and how is it rotating with J.J. Dolan? You know, it's kind of, I know people have watched him kind of grow up over these last couple of years. How's he settling with
Yeah, J.J. is my guy, definitely. He showed me everybody on the team. He's taught me things that I didn't know before at safety, so he's a really good player.
Yeah, and for you, too, you know, you did mention you didn't know a ton about Montana or much of that, so now that you're here, you've been through your first Gold Rush. I'm sure you heard a lot about Gold Rush from the guys coming in. How did it live up to your expectations?
It was a really good game. Playoff atmosphere, definitely, but the first game from Oregon, definitely, you know, it was a big game, so Gold Rush wasn't as crazy as I think it was if it was our first game.
Right, yeah, it doesn't, you kind of got that little slight, like, okay, baseline of what that loud noise is like. Where were you in relation to the horses coming out, too? You didn't have to worry about them, like, kind of looping around or anything?
No, definitely not. Yeah, but it was definitely louder on defense for us for Gold Rush, so that was the main thing.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly a lot of fun and very, very special as well. And we're getting ready to head into Big Sky play, which obviously you're slightly familiar with at Northern Arizona. But this Eastern Washington team, what should we know about them? What do you guys have to do to be successful this weekend?
Stop the run, that's the big thing. And then also perimeter run. They like a lot of passes on the outside, so just tackle, do our job.
Yeah. And then one of their quarterbacks, Nate Bell, kind of from your neck of the woods. Did you guys cross over at all?
No, I never played Liberty. That was the high school that he went to, but I have heard of him, and he's a good player, so that's someone that we have to stop, definitely.
All right, well, it's going to be a lot of fun. Excited to get Big Sky play underway, and excited for your continued growth, and eventually you're going to need that jacket, so I'm glad your mom got you covered.
Absolutely.
All right, Bryant Meredith, we're taking a break. Miles Sandstead will join us after this timeout. You're listening to Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
Hey, Bobcat fans. Want to make a real difference in the lives of Montana State student-athletes? The Bobcat Collective is your chance to do just that. By joining as a member or becoming a business partner, you're directly supporting our athletes through NIL opportunities, helping them succeed both on and off the field. Whether you're an individual looking to become a member or a business ready to partner with us, every contribution empowers our Bobcats to reach their full potential. Visit BobcatCollective.com to learn more and sign up today. Together, we can elevate our athletes and the entire Bobcat community. Go Cats, go!
Montana holds some of the greatest hunting in the country, and much of that occurs on private land. Access to private land is a key part of hunting and wildlife management, but that access is at risk with every gate left open, piece of litter left behind, or torn up ag field from someone driving where they weren't allowed. As hunters and guests in Montana, we must do better. Get familiar with Montana's block management program and follow the rules for every block management area you hunt, because we either do better or we'll lose access. It's that simple. It's up to us. Respect access, protect the hunt.
No matter how far you may go, there's always one just down the road. Town Pump, who pump it up, pump it up.
Town of Pump is excited to once again sponsor the Brawl of the Wild Rivalry Series between Montana State and the University of Montana. Look for special Brawl of the Wild promotions throughout the year at your local Town Pump.
Town Pump, right down the road, pump it up, oh yeah.
Debilitating joint pain can keep you from doing the things you love most. At Bozeman Health Spine and Joint Institute, we take a holistic approach to your orthopedic surgery, combining state-of-the-art orthopedic capabilities with whole health optimization. We'll work with you to identify and address any medical issues prior to your surgery. Our optimized health approach ensures your surgery is just the beginning of a new, pain-free life. Explore more at bozemanhealth.org/SJI.
With friendly customer service and an outstanding location near Montana State University and the base of the Bridger Mountain Range, Country Inn & Suites by Radisson is the perfect place to begin your Bozeman adventure. Country Inn & Suites offers a hot and delicious Be Our Guest breakfast buffet each morning. Free Wi-Fi is available throughout the property, and we have a business center and meeting rooms. Our indoor pool and hot tub is a great way to relax after a day of fun, and the on-site fitness center will keep your workout goals on track. We have spacious king and double queen suites with a full-size sleeper sofa available, and every room in Country Inn & Suites is smoke-free. Reserve your room today.
At Manhattan Plumbing and Heating, we are committed to being your trusted source for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs in Gallatin County. Proudly locally owned and operated, our skilled team has been providing exceptional service and expertise for over 2 decades. Whether service or new construction, we provide quality solutions for your home or business. If you need urgent plumbing repairs, efficient heating or cooling solutions, Manhattan Plumbing and Heating is here to help. Call us today at 406-284-4133 to learn why we are the area's most trusted and reliable choice. And go Cats!
The air was thick with desire as he said those 23 magic words every woman longs to hear. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give you 10 free boneless wings when you spend $15 or more and use promo code GOBONELESS. Say it again, she begged. He indulged. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give... Okay, I need a break. This novel's got me sweating and hungry. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations for a limited time only when you order in the BWW web or app.
We are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat. I'm Keaton Gillogly, joined now by kicker Miles Sansted. Miles, how we doing? How we feeling?
Good. Excited to be here.
Yeah. Nice. Looks like you got a nice little cheering section over here, too?
Always. They're always so supportive. And, yeah, I had a big crowd at the game this weekend, so it was fun to see all of them and just have a bunch of great support.
Yeah. Do you have to tell them, like, hey, don't talk to me on the sideline, like I'm getting my mind right?
No, they're good. They know I'll come find them after kicks and give them high fives after. And, yeah.
Yeah. We don't need them barking in your ear when you're getting your mind right.
Yeah. And I always got to give Dan some love, too, when he's down there.
That's Dan Davies? Yeah. Our sideline analyst, a special teamer in his own right as well, and a pretty darn good golfer. So appreciate you keeping him in the know.
Of course.
Caden Dowler told us something funny on the Bobcat Insider TV show this week. Now, Caden typically doesn't know who we're going to play the next week. Like, he doesn't know who we're playing after Eastern Washington yet because he's so locked in. He says you know everything. Is that true?
I guess so. I mean, I just put it in the calendar at the start of the year and got it dialed down.
Yeah, and you know all the themes for each week?
I think I could get it. Well, this week's homecoming, and then
Right.
we got Parents Weekend, and then military, and then Native American.
Yeah, there you go.
And Senior Day.
Yeah. Okay, so you do have it all locked down. Caden was blown away by this. He was like, how does he know all of this?
He's got a lot more things to worry about on game days.
Okay, all right, good. That's kind of what I thought it was, but I didn't want to be the one to say it.
It's okay, I will.
Okay. All right, well, let's get into your journey a little bit as well. So, first of all, for you didn't really play a lot of football coming up, right? You kind of got into it in high school?
Yeah, no, I played in like 4th grade, and then there was too many practices and not enough games, so I went to soccer and basketball and all other things, and then started back up my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah. Which sport were you the best at?
I don't know. I'd probably say track, but I didn't want to do cross country, so.
Yeah. Running, I don't really like running.
Yeah, I mean, I just liked it because I was good at it.
That's a good reason to like it. But you also had some big moments on the basketball court too, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of fun memories.
What was the biggest shot you hit?
My sister's gonna give me crap for this one.
Why?
She's gonna say close the yearbook or something like that.
Oh, I asked. This is me. So you tell her. You let me know.
It was just in the state semifinals. I shouldn't have missed the free throw, but got fouled on a 3-pointer. Made the first 2. And we somehow tipped the rebound back, and I got it in the corner and made it to win. So that was pretty awesome. And then we lost by 50 to Chet Holmgren in the state championship, so that was tough.
Yeah. Chet Holmgren now NBA champion with the Oklahoma Thunder. And you guys were playing that at the Target Center, right?
Yeah, it was during COVID, so they had like all the banners, and the fans were like almost in the top of the first deck, so it was a pretty crazy experience. there you could only have like 250 people. So
yeah, did you have some people there though?
Yeah, my mom and dad were there, and yeah, it was good.
All right, so knocked down some of that, did some of this, and then you kind of get here. But were you planning to try to walk on at Montana State, or like how did you end up picking wanting to come here?
Yeah, I was either going to go to here or KU, and I was going to try to walk on wherever, but just figured I had family here, and they've been awesome, and just figured why not come here and gave it a shot, and it all worked out better than I ever could imagine. So, yeah, very thankful.
Right. Now, but that family, which your uncle, of course, is head coach Brent Vigen, your cousins are on the team as well, but, it didn't work out at the start, right?
Yeah, no, came on that first after 22 when Glessner transferred to UCLA, and then Brendan and Casey were crushing it during fall camp, and then there weren't enough roster spots, so that was kind of tough, but, figured I'd give it one more shot and keep going, and it was God's plan, so, yeah.
Yeah. How much were you staying ready? I mean, were you like, okay, I didn't make it, but I want to try again next year, so were you working out that whole year or not really?
Yeah, no, I was working out pretty much every day in the weight room. Coach Heron let me come in and lift on my own, so I was pretty much just going in on my own and doing my own thing, kicking a few times a week, so, yeah, staying ready and being ready for my shot when it came again.
Yeah. What are some of the kicker workouts? You got some like kicker specific workouts in the weight room?
Not really. Just do the same thing that everyone else does, and then just try to get some more single leg stuff. Make sure staying flexible, stretching, mobility, all the big things. And then Jan Stenrud, his one tip is to just be in all around good shape. So
okay, I like that.
Hit a bike workout today. Got to keep on.
Yeah, Jan Stenrud, always Bobcat Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer, gets a chance to come around here usually kind of around that fall camp time. What's it like working with him when he's here? You guys actually got a chance to do the very first football activities ever in the indoor facility with Jan Stenrud. So what was that like?
Yeah, no, it's so awesome that we have his support. He's such a great guy, such great experience from the Chiefs to the Packers and the Vikings. It's been incredible experience to have his
sorry about that. Go ahead.
To have his expertise, and yeah, this year he's kind of just like, keep on keeping on, and if you ever need anything, you always know where to find me. So yeah, it's been awesome. And then I got to meet Jason Cunningham too, so that was cool to meet him as well.
Yeah, just kind of pick their brains a little bit. Did they have anything to say about kind of your stuff or tweak any of your your fundamentals on it?
No, I mean, kickers, you kind of just want to keep them confident and stuff like that, so they just were like, keep on, and if I ever need anything to reach out, so yeah.
Yeah, so confidence is everything for you
guys.
Yeah,
for sure. Confidence is key.
Yeah. How do you maintain your confidence in terms of just mental skills and keeping your head right?
Yeah, and I'm always working on my mental skills. I think kicking's probably 70% mental, if not more, so just always reading books, meeting with the performance coaches, stuff like that, getting dialed in. I got my sayings that I go through on the sidelines, visualization, all the tools.
Yeah. What are some of your sayings, if you're willing to share?
Yeah, no, my go-to, I kind of developed it with John Shirkey, who worked with the team last year. But my go-to is just I can and I will. So, yeah, when you see me over on the sidelines mumbling to myself, that's probably what I'm saying.
I can and I will, and so far you have a lot this year. But take me a little more into that sideline routine, because I imagine you don't want to be kicking too often and fatigue your leg. You never quite know when you're going to go in. You can make a guess that you might here or there, but just what's kind of your routine on the sideline to stay ready?
Yeah, I like to be in the game, per se. Like, I just like to cheer on my teammates. And not try to stress about anything too much, just be locked into the game. And then, obviously, like when we're on offense and we're getting close to the 50-yard line, then I'll start to hit somebody in the net, hit 3 or 4. And, yeah, I like to use the bike, too, and just stay warm and ready. But, yeah.
All right, so cheering on the boys until they hit the 50 and then start swinging a little bit and stay right.
Yeah, but, with our offense, you always got to be ready, so.
Yeah, that's true. And especially with the way the defense is starting to turn this ball over a little bit as well. Now, you are kind of the head. You're kind of the leader for now these younger special teams guys, Colby Froker, Brody Johnson. Froker doing the kickoff and the punting, and then Brody Johnson working as the long snapper. But first of all, for Colby, true freshman, he's been through a lot already, and we know he's got great skill, and he's going to be heavily relied upon. But tell us a little bit about Colby Froker.
Yeah, he's an outgoing guy. he had some tough moments in those first 2 games, but I think he's grown up a lot, and I think we saw that a lot during the San Diego game of what he can be capable of when we're operating at our best. So that was really good to see, and then Brody's just been great. Great athlete. I already made a few plays on punt. He got that one taken away from him in Oregon, but yeah, no, it's been awesome. And then Michael Rubich is awesome as well. He's doing a great job at scout team kickoffs. I think best we've ever had so far, knock on wood. So he's doing a great job and getting better every day.
Yeah. When Brody Johnson makes a tackle, does it feel like it's for the entire special teams group?
Oh, absolutely. I usually am down by the line of scrimmage, but then after that I'll run down and give him 5 and say great job. So yeah.
Yeah, I love to see that. Well, all right, we're kind of getting ready to go here. Big Sky Play is here as well. Final thing I wanted to ask you a little bit about too is just like the weather. Like, how do you read the winds when you're getting ready for a kickoff?
You kind of just get the sense of it pregame, and then you just got to trust your gut and go out there. In our stadium, it's pretty tough because sometimes it swirls, especially towards the Sonny Holland end zone when you have those open ends.
You're right.
But I think I've got it pretty dialed down, and luckily last year we had really good weather, so hopefully that stays the same. And yeah.
Yeah. What about going the other way with the scoreboard? Did that change things at all?
A little bit when you're further back, but when you're closer in, not really at all.
Yeah. Okay, those are the little things. So do you have to try to kind of figure that out when you go to those road stadiums too? Obviously NAU's a dome, but you're trying to figure some of the wind and how it flows?
Yeah, for sure. And you're kind of watching your own kicks, watching Colby or whoever else is out there kicks, and then the other team as well, and just trying to get a sense for what that is. And yeah, just at the end of the day, you just got to trust yourself and commit to the shot just like everything else.
Yeah, kind of like the golf game?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just got to trust your gut and commit and go all in.
Yeah. Did you beat Jan Stenerud in golf this year?
I did. He wouldn't want me to share this, but he actually had one of his worst rounds, so I feel bad. I caught him on a bad day because he had just flown that night back in from Canton, so he's feeling pretty tired. But yeah, no.
How's Dan Davies on the golf course? You know anything about his game?
I have not talked to Dan about that, or I don't really know much about his golf game, so we'll have to get out there next summer.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I think he's pretty good. I mean, he coached the golf team here for a while when they first started it, so he knows what's up. He might have a few tips or pointers too.
Sounds good.
All right. I usually ask everybody what they need to do to be successful for the next game, but is there really much game planning per team for you guys, the special teams? I mean, for the others maybe, but for you, I mean, is there much game planning for an Eastern team coming in?
Not really, just getting dialed into what the game plan is, helping the guys out on punt and kickoff and KOR, whatever they need, just getting the guys locked in. And then for me, it's just, focusing on getting Colby and Brody and I and the whole operation down, and then celebrating with the O-line after and giving those boys the credit they deserve.
Yeah, nobody's too big on the celebrations for you. They don't tackle you. You're like, okay, that's enough. You kind of got me there?
Not yet. But those O-linemen, they're all great stuff. Me and Titan got a good handshake, and I got to get one with Zim. So
okay, good. I'm sure you'd probably prefer handshakes rather than big bear hugs or something that's just going to squash you.
Yeah, no, we'll keep it to the handshakes.
Okay, well that's good. We're looking forward to it and excited to see you out there again this weekend and the rest of the year. Miles, appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, Keaton.
All right, we'll take a break. That's Myles Sansted. This is Cat Chat presented by Learfield.
The Bobcats are proud to present these preferred local partners as members of Bobcat Built, Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems, Bryant, whatever it takes, Carrier Heating and Air Conditioning, Carrier, turn to the experts, Ace Roofing, building Montana strong, one roof at a time, Rivers Landscaping, crafting superior outdoor spaces, and NW Construction, proud to call Bozeman home. Montana State Athletics encourages our fans to choose these local businesses. They are proud local sponsors and demonstrate what it means to be a Bobcat. We are Bobcat Built.
Quitting smoking, vaping, or chew isn't easy because nicotine is extremely addictive. Plus, everyone's different. What worked for me may not work for you. That's where Quit Now Montana comes in. And it's free. You get a quit coach and a custom quit plan tailored to you, including free nicotine replacement therapy, patches, gum, or lozenges. Bottom line, Quit Now Montana works. Time to make it work for you. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW or go to quitnowmontana.com to get started today. Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services.
Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. outside the box for your complete branding solutions. Located in Bozeman, Montana, we offer a full print shop for banners, signs, wraps, trade show booths and graphics, promotional products, and much more. If you can think it, we can ink it. We are a proud supporter and corporate sponsor of the MSU Bobcats. Like us on Facebook to see some of our cat wraps. Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. and call us at 406-922-6462 or visit us on the web at inkoutside.com.
Town & Country Foods is a proud supporter of Bobcat Athletics. As a locally owned company, we believe the benefit of buying local helps support the local economies in southwest Montana. Our stores offer great selections of items you need every day, including organics, specialty foods, fresh meats and produce, along with incredible selections from our bakery and deli departments. Town & Country Foods is 100% employee-owned and serves southwest Montana with 9 locations. Visit your local Town & Country Foods today. Go Cats!
At Jersey Mike's, watching them freshly slice the meat and cheese for my sub is a sight to behold. The layers of ham, salami, and pepperoni are even more glorious than the pink and orange layers of a sunrise. Yeah, the sun's pretty and all that, but in about 7 billion years it's going to explode, obliterating the earth and every living thing on it. And if there's no sun, there's no subs. Meanwhile, the only thing a sub ever obliterated was my hunger. Freshly sliced right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Your Montana Chevy dealers, home to powerful trucks like the legendary Chevy Silverado. With 9 trims and 4 powertrains to choose from, you'll find the perfect blend of capability and efficiency that's right for you. Plus, for a long day of towing, Silverado offers advanced camera tech so you can feel confident every mile of the way. From hitching to driving to parking. Test drive the Chevy Silverado and check out current offers at your Montana Chevy dealers. Proud sponsors of your Montana State Bobcats.
Back one final time from Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat. We're getting ready for the Big Sky opener coming up on Saturday. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff against Eastern Washington. We'll be on the air on the radio broadcast at 1 o'clock. So getting ready to go for this game coming up. Appreciate our player guests today, and Myles Sansted and Bryant Meredith. And, Coach, for you, too. I mean, with Myles being your nephew, you got 2 sons on the team. Quite the family affair these days for you coaching.
Yeah, it has become that. When I took the job back in 21, and Jake was a junior, Myles was a junior, I certainly didn't envision any of this. Grant was in 8th grade, so to be here a few years later and have them all on the team is something else.
That's good. That's good. I'm sure they're quite knuckleheads around back there. And then, you walk around and they got to quiet down a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
All right, well, let's get ready and look ahead. Presented by Vance Thompson Vision. This is a good Eastern Washington team coming through. Don't need to tell Bobcat fans too much about that. It did sound like there was reports today that Jared Taylor should be or has a chance to return this week at quarterback. But, of course, we will still see Nate Bell on the floor or on the field for sure. So going to have a couple different things there, but this does seem like it's a pretty darn good Eastern team coming in, even if they haven't been that maybe 60, 70 points a game they used to be.
Yeah, very capable for sure, and they're doing it quite a different way than they did, say, back in 21, 22. And even before we played them last year when Vesperis was throwing it all around, and then we played Jared Taylor, and they became a lot different offense that particular day. So, their ability to run it has definitely become their staple, I think, on the offensive side. Defensively, I think they've continued to get better and better each year. And, we're going to have to put together a complete game to do what we want, because we've played them each and every year, and we've had three dogfights for sure, I know. And we got to expect that. Everybody's 0-0 in the league as we start here, and we got to expect their best punch.
Yeah, as far as their pass catchers go, obviously Efton Chisholm has made it with the Patriots this year after being undrafted. Where are you looking at for some of their pass catchers?
Well, I think it's a group of good receivers. I don't know if there's any one particular that we call their go-to guy. I mean, Chisholm was their go-to guy, and then some the last few years. So they do spread it around. They got different body types. I don't think our defensive focus can go one way or the other. I think we got to be able to shut them down and be able to challenge them the best we can and force those quarterbacks, whichever one plays, to make some tough throws.
Yeah. All right, well, it's going to be a good one on Saturday. Thank you to Kelly Freeman as our producer back at the studios. Thank you to Anthony for handing out our prizes, Myles Sansted and Bryant Meredith as well. For head coach Brent Vigen, this is Keaton Gillogly saying so long, and we'll talk again on Saturday. This has been Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
You've been listening to Cat Chat with head football coach Brent Vigen. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, the official home